stranger to transit operations who is picking estimates out of the air. My previous reports have been more accurate than those of the board and management. In my judgment, Dallas Transit has spent money lavishly in 1971-72. The 1972-73 budget, in the absence of any material increase in mileage and services, is, in my opinion, even more lavish. If Dallas Transit is allowed to operate at an average efficiency of $1,075,000 per year, as the board and management forecast in this fare stabilization program presented to the council on April 15th, the cumulative efficiency by 1981, when all transit bonds are retired, will total about $49 million. That's $49 million. Fare stabilization is a bottomless tax pit which should be avoided to the last possible moment, and that moment is years away in Dallas. The transit tax socks the transit rider hardest. He must pay both the tax and the fare. And don't entertain the idea that transit riders do not own personal and real property which will be taxed. The lavish expenditures in 1971-72 and the lavish budget of 72-73 indicates that the council needs more information about Dallas Transit's affairs than it is getting from the board and management. This can be accomplished by a change in the ordinance which will give the city manager and his staff the same status with Dallas Transit that it has with the Park Board, Library Board, Radio Commission, and other city boards. If there ever was a reason for the independence of the Dallas Public Transit Board, it terminated in 1971 when the transit revenue bonds were refinanced and the modernization program was finalized and financed. But the immediate need is to rationalize the 1972-73 budget. The council is the only city authority that can do anything about it. I suggest that the time has come to order the city manager and his staff, assisted by whatever unbiased outside experts are required, to study Dallas Transit's operations in depth as proposed in the 1972-73 budget and to determine its true requirements and make recommendations to the council. The budget should not be approved until this study is completed.
It's not my intent here by any means to answer any of these allegations, but I do think that there's two things I'd like to leave with the council. First of all, the total increase in expenses are approximately $800,000. Had Mr. Cartwright really looked at the calendar, he would have determined that there's one extra payroll in the year of fiscal year coming up, which accounts for $250,000, and we intend to pay the people. There's also approximately $400,000 of anticipated blanket increases that do no more than equal those that will be given to other city employees. Now, which on balance accounts for perhaps 85% of the increase.
Must Dallas have gasoline rationing before we face up to the fact that new freeways and tollways will not serve our individual physical or economic health nearly as well as any form of mass transportation? Before you take final action on this budget, the League asks you to consider carefully the results of continued inaction on this city's transportation and air pollution problems.
Mr. Mayor and council members, would you have the members of the Dallas Transit System stand up and identify themselves? Mr. Driggs is so sacrosanct that I can't get through on the telephone very easy to him. So I'd like to see what these secluded Dallas Transit leaders look like. Thank you.
I'm Ms. E.F. Higgins, and I'm chairman of the Senior Citizens Committee at the Crossroads Community Center. And we're really trying to work and amid frustration, and you know as well as I, frustrations is taking place at the Crossroads Board level, council here. And we're really begun to work and try to bring about something meaningful based on needs in the community to develop a program. And it's really distressing to see your pass the buck to someone else, to the community, as if you cannot even consider our proposal.
Now, the community council is going to study us again. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't
The
understand.
community council is going to do another study.
Yes.
Was that the $70,000 for that study?
That will staff their operation, and they would be a coordinating agency for the services to the aging for the entire county.
Senior citizens are facing with living on small amounts of money, with little changes anymore, which makes it very hard with prices going up all the time. We are hardly ever mentioned and attend at any job or training, which added burden to any thoughts of more money. To help meet our needs, we urge you to approve our plan for the elders and our community and grant the fund that we are asking for.
I'm here to make a plea on the health problems pertaining to the senior citizens. It's important to realize that elderly have adequate problems that must be dealt with. These problems are compounded by the strain that health crisis imposes upon them, coupled with the lack of mobility and poor economic and situation.
I'm speaking about transportation. Terms it might of no else hold range to serve in Baltimore. It is these ransom trips that public transportation is most capable of handling service and need public transportation for us. Thank you.
I said when the report comes back, then we should make our decision here on the city council as to whether we want to do what Councilman Weber says and have a senior citizens department, or whether we do want to leave it with the community council. That's all I'm saying. But we'll give it every consideration. We thank you very much for the presentation. Certainly do.
There's a lady in the projects in North Dallas who is 76 years old, gets $104 from welfare, pays $40 a month rent, receives commodities, and is a diabetic, has specific instructions from her doctor on the type of diet she has to have. She eats cornmeal and water, and it's killing her. And y'all gonna study the problem. Well, I don't know how these people over here feel, but we're getting sick and tired of y'all studying the problem.